Hey man, have you bought any Bitcoin yet? No, I'm not stupid. Bitcoin's like a giant pyramid scheme. It doesn't make any sense based on my inability to comprehend new thoughts and ideas. Have you bought any yet? No way! Bitcoin's way too volatile. Yeah, case in point. Did you know if you would have put $10,000 into Bitcoin back in 2010, that same $10,000 would now be worth $96,939,950. But that same $10,000 held in US currency since 2010 would now be worth $8,840 after adjusting for inflation. Right, that proves Bitcoin's volatile. And volatile is a word that scares me because I don't have any testosterone in my body.
So GM to all the volatility enjoyers, in this video we're taking a look at the macro update here with CPI coming out tomorrow in the USA. Plus we've got updates on Bitcoin, the network is congested, Ethereum with the foundation selling, and meme coins to round it all off. If you enjoy this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel and comment GM in the comment section down below. So the range low timeline is out in full force over on Twitter, but that is where we sit right now. So the sentiment shifts have been incredible to watch as we've come to the kind of range highs here, upper 29s, low 30k regions, super bullish here at the resistance areas. And then every time we come to the range lows, simply down here, low 27ks, everyone gets extremely bearish yet again. So pumping meme coins like crazy towards range highs, range lows come, everyone's back on the I'm DCAing strong fundamental projects once again. So a tale as old as time, people love to get over exuberant near the highs and very bearish near the lows. But just looking at this, we are towards the range lows and it has not broken as of yet. The kind of pivot is there on the white line at around 27,000 US dollars for BTC. As long as we're holding above there, if we can hang around in this area, we're likely to get some form of a move up here, especially when you look at some of the other assets around. We have gold here, which is looking rather strong at 2027. We've also got the likes of the DXY still down quite considerably here. We have the Nasdaq pushing on up and the S&P 500 likewise also not looking too bad there, even with a ton of bank stocks effectively down huge. So it seems that Bitcoin is just moving towards the areas of liquidity on the chart in my book right now. Nothing else really going on. We've moved back to the range lows. As long as we are holding, I'm not going to get giga bearish. But if we do break from this kind of region, then the monthly support is down there at 23k. This is all being reflected by the fear and greed, which is now starting to tick down. We were in the greed territory previously over the weekend. Of course, meme coins were going crazy and now neutral at around 51. It would be nice to see that continue to come down somewhat. Macro events on the menu here tomorrow, Wednesday, May the 10th. We have the CPI coming out for the US. It is predicted to be at 5%, the same as it was last month. Let's check in with TED Talks Macro here. He says US CPI inflation due this week, 5%, same as last month. That is a year-over-year figure, but the monthly figure is set to accelerate slightly, plus 0.4%. Previously, it was plus 0.1%, while the core inflation is expected to have ticked lower in the month to plus 0.3%, previously at 0.4%. So overall, a flatlining this month when compared to the previous. So he's not expecting substantial moves either way unless we get a bit of a surprise to either the upside or the downside. And from this chart on screen, you can see the US Cleveland Fed inflation nowcast predicts the May inflation figure will come down yet again. So that would be updated in the June figures, but it is starting to seem like we're getting a bit of a flat line this month and then an acceleration to the downside in the next if these stats are correct. Interesting comment here. PPI has been crashing. That is the Producers Price Index, as you can see from the chart here. PPI coming down in a bit of a nose-diving fashion there. That is the red line. And CPI yet to follow, but this could well be a leading indicator, which could mean the next few months we start to see inflation come down yet again. This, of course, would be supportive of risk assets. USA true inflation stats, however, now see it at 3.8%, again ahead of the curve typically, and this showing that US inflation is on the down. So all eyes on that data coming out tomorrow. The forecasts for the next Fed meeting on the 14th of June, 86% chance here the market is pricing in we stay flat at the current rates, and a 13% likelihood of an increase yet again. But the numbers coming out tomorrow will highly influence this yet again, so we'll stay tuned to see what happens. Now, Bitcoin's major new use case, the BRC20 standard, essentially shitcoins over on Bitcoin, is causing a load of congestion, and it is annoying a lot of Bitcoin maxis. But I guess that is the point of having a permissionless network. People are free to do what they want, even if that means clogging up the network like crazy. Over 400,000 transactions waiting to be processed. So let's check in with some thoughts here from Chainlink God. He says BRC20 is a very weird and inefficient token standard. To mint a BRC20, you create a mint NFT with the amount to be minted in competition with others via a priority gas auction. So similar mechanisms to ETH there, with a gas auction taking place. This is why the Bitcoin transaction costs have gone up like crazy. And then to sell, you need to create a new transfer with the NFT amount to be transferred and sold. These transfer NFTs can be listed just like any NFT, where buyers purchase the fixed batch amount. All of these receipt notes then have to be indexed, interpreted off-chain to get current account balances. Any comparison to ERC20 standard is in name only, given they work completely different. It would be as if you have to create a new ERC721 every time you want to make a transfer or trade an ERC20. But ultimately, this doesn't seem to matter to fulfilling the primary use case, the creation and trading of meme coins. So this is what people have chosen to do with BRC20 standard. Here are some of the top coins here: Audi, Bank, Pepe, Meme, Domo, Pizza, Newt, Punk, and so on and so forth. But you can see from this, there's been some huge volatility to the upside as we've seen a transition from the kind of ERC20 meme coins. Now it seems BRC20s are getting pumped like crazy as well, and this is just blocking up the network. So as you can see from this, the takeaway is that people in crypto, no matter what network they're on, they want to gamble on meme coins and just punt that things could go up a lot or potentially go to zero. So the gambling thesis definitely on point. And I think this paints a picture as to how people are feeling with life right now. They're more than happy to just take a punt on things rather than invest in serious things. You feel like you're losing out with inflation, your bills are going up, you've got a few $100 spare, you're happy to gamble on a 10-to-1 bet. So currently in the mempool, 412,000 Bitcoin transactions still unconfirmed. A huge backlog there, and more incoming transactions just continue to flood into the network. You can see on the chart here, this is the average transaction fee on BTC right now, and that is up 60% since yesterday's figures. So that is rather crazy. And you can see from here, if you want to put through a high priority fee, it costs you around $8 in sats. These spillover effects have been felt by CZ and Binance. He says, there are some FUDs around Bitcoin withdrawal issues, i.e. we're not blocking Bitcoin withdrawals. However, the issue is the network fees are fluctuating and 18x up in a month. He states this interestingly: bull market issues. Gas prices fluctuate, they go up and down, transactions get stuck, fees go up, people start to complain. But he sees this as a bull market. When we've seen the likes of the amount of Gwei you have to spend on ETH going through the roof, the amount of sats you have to spend on the Bitcoin network going through the roof, hitting some really impressive numbers, well, it does feel like this is no longer a deep bear market, but at least some form of transitionary market into a new bull where people are utilizing these networks more and more. The purposes of these transactions, yet you may not agree with them, but the networks are being used heavily. So apart from super high gas costs on ETH, what else has been going on? Well, the Ethereum Foundation has dumped a load of Ether. Not an insane amount like they have done previously, which has marked market cycle tops, but they've sold around 15,000 ETH, around $30 million worth. So this was quite interesting. Hasaka said, look, ETH Foundation are on the move again. Jokingly, this time is different, as they usually do cause the top. ETH Denver wallet here, 15,000 ETH, getting sent over to Kraken Exchange. They weren't levering up to buy Pepe, they were obviously selling that for fiat. So the chart on screen here is when the Ethereum Foundation has dumped previously. These are all the green vertical bars you can see on screen. 2017, 2018 cycle, they marked the exact top. This is ETH down here, Bitcoin up there. They sold top on ETH in the 2018 end of the cycle. They sold more here in 2019 near the top, but not exactly at the top. They could have done a little bit better there in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum price. Then in 2020, they sold some here. Market continued to accelerate up. They did manage to catch the top here. That was May. Bitcoin was starting to crash, and then Ethereum top came in as they dumped. And they also did perfectly mark the top on ETH here in November 2021's top for the market cycle, selling a buttload of ETH at that point, and the market went down only from there. Then the most recent one here, Bitcoin was at 29,400, ETH at 1962. So as it stands right now, it does look like they've sold at least a local top of sorts on low time frames here for BTC and ETH. So rather interesting to see. And this is something I will be tracking heavily into the next cycle, into the bull run, when Ethereum Foundation start to sell. That is a very good signal. It's your time to GTFO. So the meme coins have topped here, and it seems that the Binance listing was the kiss of death. That additional liquidity for the bigger wallets to start exiting into retail is exactly what's played out here. Now, interestingly enough, a load of these dog coins, Doge, Shiba, didn't get the run up, but as Bitcoin has come down, they've seen the full flack of that also coming down as well. So those were not the memes to get involved with, but your likes of Pepe's and the Pepe derivative coins out there did very well, but now they're down at least 50, 60, 70% plus over the last few days. So very interesting to observe. Binance perps listings have topped many altcoins, and this was no different for Pepe here. Now, I wanted to show this because this is the Dogecoin chart from 2021. So in April 21, Doge went on a rampage, and this was the first huge impulse here. So Doge, if you look at the actual price chart as well, the numbers kind of line up. It went to 42 cents, 0.42. Over on Pepe, it went up to 0.43 here. The tops here around 0.41, 0.42, 0.43. So the numbers actually align here, which is really creepy to see. And then the retrace for Doge was roughly 60% down, and it came to this region around 0.17. You go to Pepe, it comes down here around 0.17 yet again. So history repeating, maybe rhyming, but what happens next? Well, for Doge, it had a bit of a cool off for around a week, put in a bit of a base before moving up yet again. Of course, this was during a full-blown bull market, but could we see something similar here for Pepe? Bit of a rounded bottom, starts to make its way up, and we have another burst and another rally for the memes. Definitely something to be observing with, because of the fact you've seen all these meme coins go up many 1000%. And so if this does repeat yet again, maybe you want to be a part of that and get a seat on the train. So Bitcoin at 27.5K here today, CPI data coming out tomorrow. More than likely, this is the major catalyst to see us either break down from this range or maybe revisit the range highs once more. Let me know how you guys are doing today in the comment section down below. Drop me a GM, guys, and I will see you in the next one tomorrow. Peace.